Hi guys, I'm Alicia, and today I am talking about Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. I had really high expectations for this book because I love the Darkest Minds series. As you can see, it is all behind me right here. I really enjoyed them. The Darkest Minds was like my favorite book for a brief period in grade 10. Or like kind of favorite because the Mortal Instruments series and the Infernal Devices kind of took over my life. If you haven't read it, it is about this 17-year-old girl named Etta who wants to make a career out of her violin, but she finds out that she's a time traveler. She gets sent back in time and gets caught up, and she has to find this item. She doesn't know where it is or what it is or when it is because she meets a pirate and her mom gets kidnapped, and someone dies, and that's all I'm gonna say if you haven't read it. I don't know how to explain it without giving a ton away. So if you haven't read it, goodbye, and if you have, then let me know your thoughts down below, and I hope you enjoy this video. I think why I didn't enjoy this book as much as I kind of expected to, or maybe as much as I would if I had actually read the physical book, is I actually listened to the audiobook of it. It's just, this summer has been really crazy. I've been super busy, I work a lot, so I was having a hard time coming home and making myself read every night. I was in kind of a reading slump because I came home and all I wanted to do with my life was watch Netflix 24/7. My solution to this problem was to download the audiobook, the first audiobook I've ever listened to, and kind of take it to work with me. And so while I was doing kind of physically inactive jobs, or jobs I didn't have to really move around and like pay attention a lot, it was like mind-numbing jobs, I would just sit down and turn on my iPod and listen. Honestly, it wasn't that exciting, but it could have just been because I was listening to it at work. Into the actual book. The time travel in this book was a bit different because you can't travel back in time and just kind of come back to the present time and it continues from that point. No, you can't kind of go back to a different month or a different day in time. You have to continue on in the calendar year that you're in when you travel back. So, I don't know, it's kind of inconvenient time travel that way, where if you want to travel back to a certain day at a certain time, way back when, you gotta wait until that time in the present time, and then you can travel back to that day in that year. I don't know if that was a good explanation. Getting Etta's perspective was really interesting because I've played, piano and violin in my life. I played for like over 10 years. I didn't continue when I moved off to university. It's not what I pursued. I have no interest in doing music for the rest of my life, but I'm glad I did it, and it was super interesting to see Etta's perspective on that because I do know people who have gone on for music. It takes so much dedication and practice and time to do that, but if it's something you want to do, then I guess like it was just really cool to see Etta's perspective of wanting that career and wanting this to work, and it just, how much stage fright would you get to go on that stage and like your whole career, it can make or break you when you go and play in front of other people, and it's terrifying to think about. I couldn't do that at all. The first thought I had of Sophia was that she's a spoiled rotten brat, and then as you go on and she and Etta meet her grandfather, I realized she's kind of lonely. She's had no one her entire life. I was feeling kind of bad for her, and I was like, you know what, maybe she'll join up with Etta and they'll actually be friends in the end. But then she got way too ambitious and she became Lady Macbeth, and she's all like, I'm gonna take over the world because no one else deserves it and I deserve it and blah blah blah. So she's gonna take over the astrolabe for herself and basically do for herself what her grandfather was going to do. I felt sorry for her for like a few chapters, and then she did that and she ruined it. Anyway, I just completely skipped Etta. I don't know why. So Etta, she's Alice and her mom. Alice is her teacher, but Alice is more kind of her mother than her actual mother is because Rose is extremely distant. At the end, when Rose comes back, she is a horrible mother. She is like the worst mother ever. First off, she killed Alice, the only other person really that ever loved Etta, her daughter. She killed Alice so that Etta would go back and do what she needed to do in the past. What kind of mother puts her child through that kind of emotional trauma just so she can do something that's for the greater good of the world, not even for her own daughter or herself? It's not. She definitely doesn't put Etta first at all, and that's what a parent is supposed to do. Rose doesn't even seem concerned at all. Like, no tears, no panic, no nothing. When Nicholas says that Etta dies, and then Rose, just calmly, she's just like, tell me what happened. And Nicholas is like, well, she just disappeared. And Rose is like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, travelers don't disappear when they die. And then Nicholas is all like, oh my god, then Julian's probably not dead either. We don't know where he is. So then in the next book, I think this is a duology, not a trilogy, so in the next book, which is the last one, we'll get to see Julie and Etta and where they ended up and what happened to them, and it's all gonna come together. And I'm actually, as much as I didn't really like this book as much as I wanted to, it was still good, and I'm really excited for the second one to see how it all wraps up, because I'm really bad for that. If I start a series, I have a hard time putting it down. There's not a lot of series that I've started that I haven't finished because it feels incomplete. I need to finish it. And I so thought it was Etta at the end when Hassan comes and tells Nicholas that they have the girl at the settlement. I was expecting Etta, and it was Sophia, and I didn't want it to be, but at the same time, I don't want Sophia to go up with that Thorn dude anyway, or both those Thorn dudes that stole the astrolabe. Okay, can we just take a moment to appreciate that the person in charge of these people that stole the astrolabe, the Thorn clan, family, group, bloodline, whatever you want to call it, Henry, I think his name is Etta's father. So a Linden who worked for the Ironwoods had a child with a Thorn. It doesn't really play out. I don't know how they met, why they were working together, why they were seeing each other. I don't know. But I'm excited to see how that relationship even worked out, why they split, how Thorn never knew about Etta, or does he know about Etta? Is that where Etta is? Like, I don't know. I'm really excited to find out. But obviously, either he doesn't know or he doesn't care, because he sent his men to kind of kill Etta, I think. There's a lot of racism awareness going on in this book, because Nicholas is black, and he was born back in a time where blacks were slaves, and he doesn't feel worthy, I guess, of Etta's attention because he's scared that he'll take away her future. Like, he doesn't want to burn her back down and have her judged for that. And I just found it really interesting when they went forward in time and Nicholas finally went past a year that he'd ever been before. He didn't like the attention that he got. He wasn't used to it, and it just kind of hurt a little. It reminded me a lot of Merrick from Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. Really just that they're both pirates and the love interest. I was getting a little wary of him when he went after Etta, and Etta didn't know that he was sent by Ironwood, but then he tells her and it's all good, and then he almost dies and she gets left behind, and then he somehow miraculously heals and gets to her in time, and then she disappears, and it's like Romeo and Juliet all over. They're just not fated to be together. No, I'm just kidding. I kind of hate that play. So yeah, that's all I have for this video. I didn't take any notes, so I just scribbled down what I remembered afterwards because I was at work when I listened to it. So yeah, I didn't really have time for note taking. I'm mostly excited for the next one. Definitely to see Henry, or I think his name is Henry. I honestly, I don't remember. Henry Thorn, her dad, Etta's dad. I'm excited to see him and kind of his relationship with Rose, and I'm excited for when Rose and Etta meet because I think Etta loves her mom a lot more than her mom loves her. Yeah, if that made sense. Alice won't be saved. I don't think you can save people from after they've died. I don't think that's a thing that they're allowed to do or that they can do, so I don't think that's gonna happen, but it was really cool to see Alice back when she was young. Etta and Nicholas are kind of, you already know that they're a couple. I think that's the difference between, you know, this duology versus like a trilogy or something that's more, is after the first book you're not always positive of the love interest or if there's going to be a relationship between them, but this one definitely, like, you know, Etta and Nicholas are going to be together in the second book. It's already established, so not much to guess in that department. I want to know if Sophia will be Etta's friend in the end. That rhymed. Yeah, so that was all. I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for watching. I try to post a video every week. It'll probably be more regular once I get into the school year, but it's been crazy. But yeah, I try to post a video every week. It doesn't always work out that way, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!